Have you ever had a frantic day that drains all your brain power, only to find that at the end of the day, you have to painfully squeeze out a little bit more brain power and energy to think about getting dinner on the table? Meal planning is one of those things that has a profound effect on helping you feel less overwhelmed. I like to sit down with my planner on Fridays and plan out our week's meals, adjusting for what I have that coming week. And of course, speaking of planners, that's one of the many things I love about our new modAmbition planner. You don't have to choose between monthly, weekly, and daily planning, which drastically reduces brain space and not to mention overwhelm. And you guys, I'm hoping that you're just as excited as I am about this planner that's coming out. You can finally sign up for yours or to see everything it has to offer at signup.modambition.com. If I could just take 1 second to tell you about my new baby, it's a one-of-a-kind luxury planner, but it's not just any old planner. It's a goal-getting planner designed to help ambitious women have it all without the overwhelm. Using this planner is going to help you move closer to your goals while also helping you save time so you can spend more time doing what you love, which we all want to do, right? So check it out at signup.modambition.com, and let's get back to meal planning. Okay. Thanks for letting me share that. Sean Patrick Flannery is quoted as saying, "Do something today that your future self will thank you for." That is exactly what this episode is about today. If you're tired of the frantic mess that is throwing dinner together at the last minute, I want you to listen to this episode because you're going to learn how to go from afraid to empowered at dinner time. And by the end of the episode, you're going to know my current meal planning system that incorporates all the tenets of the modAmbition plan pillar, which is the first pillar of modAmbition, so you can feel more at ease at mealtime. So first, let's discuss the pre-work and the essentials for meal planning. The essentials that I use, which I'll explain how to use them later, are a whiteboard and a recipe binder. Again, I'll explain this more later, but the binder is broken down into what I like to call Mama's Tired Meals, Rachel Ray meals, which are just a step up in time and energy from Mama's Tired Meals, and fancy meals. Now, firstly, I want you to consider the modAmbition planning pillar when thinking about meal planning. And the planning pillar has 3 tenets, okay? 1 is intention and values when planning. 2 is prioritize and organize when planning. And 3 is have boundaries and flexibility when planning. So let's start with intention and values. Think about your intention and values for meal planning. Is it to be healthier? Is it to save time? Is it to save energy? Is it to reduce anxiety during the week? What lights you up when you think about the effects of what meal planning are going to bring into your life? And you'll likely get a good idea about what you value about the process and your intention for meal planning. Knowing this is going to keep you motivated to do the planning, as well as help you decide how to do certain aspects of the planning, such as choosing what to eat. Next, you're going to set a weekly time to meal plan that works for you. This is the boundary tenet of the planning pillar. You're going to create a container around this weekly time and try to commit to doing your meal planning when that time comes up on your calendar. And I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to say that I hold to this boundary each and every week, but I try to. And on the weeks that I do, life is much easier, much smoother than having to figure out another time on the fly. The second tenet of modAmbition planning pillar is to prioritize and organize, which leads me into look at what you have going on for the week. Prioritize easy meals for those busy days and cue those Rachel Ray recipes, and be sure to prioritize the Mama is Tired meals for the days you're most likely going to be exhausted from doing so much that day. Then let's move on to the next tip on how to organize the meal planning. First, let's talk about your recipe binder. Let me say a little bit more about that because I've been using the words but not explaining them. The first recipes section is going to be the Mama is Tired meals, and those are for those days that you're exhausted or you're unexpectedly exhausted or sick. Some of those meals for me are frozen meal options that I just write down, like to get at the grocery store, like Indian food, or other options are my Thai sweet chili salmon, which is just a set it and forget it oven recipe. You want to think about those easy meals that you could do with your eyes closed that don't require a lot of effort, time, or cleaning. Then you have those in between meals, a step up from the Mama's Tired meals, which I like to call the Rachel Ray meals. They aren't brainless, but they aren't complicated either. Do you guys remember Rachel Ray's 30-minute meal show back in the day? Dating myself. That's the vibe of these easy meals. Like you're cooking, but you're not going overboard. And I love a good crock pot recipe for these that I can do in the morning and it's waiting for us at dinner time, like a pot roast or a chili in the winter. This could also be more tasty meals, but using prepared ingredients or store-bought ingredients. Like our pork taco night, I use the prepackaged, pre-cooked pork. The pork belly actually from Trader Joe's, and I use it to shred the tacos, makes it much more easy so I don't have to do anything. And for those fancy meal sections, so let me just reiterate, you have the Mama's Tired meals, then you have a little bit more effort, the Rachel Ray section of the binder is what I call it, and the third section is the fancy meals. These are the ones that require more prep. Maybe it's a marinade or lots of chopped veggies or a homemade sauce or something homemade you got to do from scratch. But these meals make you happy to cook and make you proud to serve to your family. So I like to have my favorite fancy meals like our carbonara pasta in the binder, as well as for those days that I have a little more time and I want to get creative. So you're going to gather these recipes over time from your favorite websites, blogs, social media recipes, and cookbooks. You're going to print out all the recipes and organize them into these 3 tabs. Then within these tabs, I like to add subcategories of healthy, comfort meals, and vegan meals. And you may also want to consider adding subcategories of like seasons, so like summer, winter, splitting those up. So once you have your binder and you have your planner set with you, you're going to use that whiteboard to start actually the meal planning. So you're going to note your busy days from your planner and you're going to have your binder of your recipes on your hand. At the left-hand side of the binder, you're going to put the days of the week. And at the top, you're going to create columns for lunch, dinner, and I also like to add a column for the kids' meals. And at the very bottom of the whiteboard, I like to have a grocery list of things we need. Then once you have a plan for the week, you can think about meal prepping. I like to meal prep on Sundays during kids' naps. Here are 3 things I meal prep on Sundays to make the week a little bit easier. I first like to do mason jar salads where I just put dressing in the bottom of a mason jar, followed by tomatoes, onions, or whatever vegetables I can get in the sauce, followed by a protein, followed by the lettuce on top so it doesn't get soggy. Then you have salads ready to go during the week that you just have to dump inside of a bowl. I also like to do my veggie prep on Sundays to make cooking easier, like cleaning and chopping different vegetables and fruits. And then lastly, I do my smoothie prep on Sundays by filling 5 Ziploc bags with ingredients for me and my husband's smoothies each day. That way in the mornings, I can just dump all the ingredients in the blender, add my almond milk, and then bada bing, bada boom, I have our smoothie. And the last tenet of the modAmbition planning pillar is boundaries and flexibility. We already talked about boundaries for your time for meal plannings, but flexibility is also important. You're going to remember, we make plans and God laughs. So I want you to understand that flexibility is a part of meal planning. Be easy on yourself and know that things won't also always be perfect. I would love to end this episode by offering an intention for you this week. May you create routines that support your ambitious lifestyle. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. I know I went really fast. I have a sick baby on my hands, which I hope you can't hear in the background upstairs, that I'm trying to get back to. But I want to show up here and still be consistent and offer you as much value as possible. If you have questions about meal planning that I maybe went too fast over or you want me to elaborate on, just hit me up on Instagram on modAmbition. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for your patience and thank you for listening. Namaste.
But you're giving me back.